find our way home, before we tear this world apart, before we start again. Don't let it go, oh, oh, before we light up the dark, before we find our way home, home, before we tear this world apart, before we start again. I know that it's been a long time since you had faith in shadows. Taught me in my early years, but now I have you to follow. Don't let it go, before we light up the dark, before we find our way home, home, before we tear this world apart, before we start again. I know that it's been a long time since you had faith in shadows. Taught me in my early years, but now I have you to follow. Don't let it go, oh, oh, before we light up the dark, before we find our way home, home, before we tear this world apart, before we start again. Don't let it go, before we light up the dark, before we find our way home, home, before we tear this world apart, before we start again. You know.
And I think we are live. Now this is again, as you can see, another one of the drama streams. But I think we're going to have to get a bit more real about this, because as we've seen over the past 6 years, let's say, that we've been around, you know, had to make a channel and do all of that sort of stuff to defend ourselves. But we made the channel so, you know, people had the ability to hear what was actually going on, and not just other people's representations of it. But what we've got here at the minute is probably one of the biggest dramas within flat earth debate history. And I'm talking that, you know, on the back of the fallacious modus tollens that filled the flat earth. This particular thing that we're seeing at the minute is it's amazing. And the fact that nobody wants to talk about it, I think, is a sign of the times. People would rather just keep quiet, put their head down. Nobody wants to rock the boat or anything, because everything's up in the air, and particularly with the flat earthers. It's been quite obvious for, well, to most people, I think, for many years, that the earth's not flat. There's a certain group of people that are fanatical about this. I don't know, whatever it is. And most people, find their footing in what's going on in this particular arena and then leave. But there's a microcosm that goes on that sort of teaches you about how life is and how interactions with different people and how it all occurs, and particularly about how people are different. People, all sorts of people are different. Now, I personally came into this arena because I wanted to do whatever I could to help my son, knowing that, he was probably going to have difficulties interacting with people, just basically getting on in life. Unless you go into this little shell of your own, which I think is what's happening to most people. And I've learned through, having the people around us that I think if you are on your own and you do go into this little thing where you do go into, introverted or whatever, right, then you are in a danger of going mad. And I think the signs of it they're around. People need other people to be able to communicate with. But it does seem within this particular arena that actual communication has broke down. And it's been systematically broke down by these people that we're talking about. Don't want to sound big-headed, but we've got a nice little group of people here. This is this Discord server. Anybody's available to come over, have a chat. You can come in and, discuss these things with people. These are real people that are around here. So if anybody does want to come in at any time, this Discord server is open for anyone. Just click the link on the... is there a link on the video? I think I wiped all of the stuff. I didn't want to antagonise people. I don't think it's worth it anymore. Certain facts do tend to trigger or annoy people. So I'm trying to keep away from that. We're just trying to discuss reality. And I suppose we've got a little bit deeper and we're going into a bit of philosophy and stuff like that. May put certain people off, but hey, it's all about discovering yourself or whatever. But I mean, again, back to the drama. The Nathan Oakley stream. I don't know whether we should be putting a link up to let Nathan know that, I mean, he's welcome to come over. Nathan knows about this place. He knows he can come over at any time, have a discussion. Same goes for Neil, Brian, anyone. But what we were discussing earlier is, yes, Nathan's been very vocal about it, about what's going on. He doesn't seem to have any copies of the book, whatever he calls the book, drafts or like whatever. And seems like that might be in the hands of somebody else. But I think somebody else might have already wrote the book. If there is a book. If it can be placed on the shelves. Whether anybody can put those words down. Because it does take a lot. The people that have are willing to write and put their name to a book. Uh, well, I mean, there's plenty of people that have wrote books, and I would imagine that they are proud of the books that they have wrote. I know I've done quite a fair bit of work on the website. I've not really promoted it, but
It sounds a bit doubtful that he's actually even ever had a book as the story goes on,
that's the
because
thing, isn't it?
he apparently narrated the book to his publisher, this Chuck guy, who Tenth Man must have put him onto, and I hear he narrated it to him. I mean, not wrote it down and gave him a draft and
It
said, have a
must
read
have been
through, tell
wrote
me what
down
you
for him
think.
to narrate it. Like, surely he can't have done it off the top of his head, can he?
Yeah, but I mean, you send a draft to a publisher, then you don't sort of, I don't know, imagine what you do, get on the phone and say, here it is, and read it out to him over 3 days or something. But that's the story. He narrated it, and so, as I was wondering, well, he said he hasn't got the latest draft, at least. I thought, well, he must have the original, because he said it was all ready to go. Been working on it for 2 years, all ready to go, or his publisher would have it. Perhaps his publisher had written it down somewhere.
If he's narrated it
But
to him, surely.
yeah, but then they decided, oh, we can make it better, and somehow that draft got pushed into another document that seems like only one person had hold of, which seems a bit odd, given that I know at one time Flatsy was doing the editing, so she must have had a copy. And Nathan's going on, well, the bastards, do you think I didn't think I've been could be turned over? I've had this kind of thing before. I didn't expect it from these two, but I recorded everything. I mean, he recorded everything, but he never kept a copy. He never said after every, little book stream they had together and little meeting and he was playing Fortnite. At the end of it, he didn't say, right, everybody's got the updated copy. We've all got a copy. We can all read through and think about and come back to the next session with some brainstormed ideas or something. No, there's seems to be only one copy that Adam seems to have had, which
Well,
seems really odd.
yeah, we need to hear from QE, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's
This
pretty
is
silent, isn't he? I mean, it's a
there's
bit odd.
something wrong if
Yeah.
QE's not
What's going
saying
on?
anything. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he said it was kind of because he called the police on him, and it's like, well, that's how the story goes. Called the police on him, and so, well, we mustn't, no comment, no comment. We can't say anything. Well, yeah, I don't know. What does the silence say? He was alive this evening, but not a word. Nothing.
Yeah, he's doing some nunty clips.
Very strange.
Yeah, we need to hear from QE or Adam, because I mean, me personally, I think it's Emma. No, I think the problem is that QE and Adam have probably wrote the book. To be honest, the arguments, the structure of it, the flow of the book. Apart from the who is Nathan Oakley, I mean, because they can't really do that for him, can they? They might have helped him write that one, but the rest of the book, the structure of the arguments and stuff, Nathan's admitted he's not done a thing.
No, so that's why it seems difficult to have an idea that he's written anything at all. I just don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that he's written anything ever. So I wonder what format this book that he's been working on for 2 years, what format it was in. Because if he had it on a file on his computer, why would he have just given everything and wiped it? Why would he have not just sent a copy to somebody and he'd still have the original? So well, at least I got the original. I got up to here, and it was all based on the housekeeping questions and my journey, and I've got that. I've got the original before the boring stuff started, as he says, the yawn, tedious, boring, technical stuff that he couldn't do. See, it just seems very, very odd, doesn't it? Really.
Well, if he's got the, let's face it, there's no arguments for,
No.
for flat Earth. Nathan has said that there's no arguments and there's no debate. So that leaves
So
the book
belief.
in tatters. I mean, like, just what's Nathan Oakley thought and over the last 10 years, like a story of Nathan Oakley and what he's done. That's about all that the book's ever going to be from here on in. Because Nathan's not going to be able to write anything, is he? About an argument, about, the sextant stuff from 10th Man. I mean, he's not going to be able to do any of that. He can't support the arguments to start off with. He's got a problem with the angle that he doesn't know what to do with. And he's never made a measurement, so he's got no practical experience to do anything.
He seems to be. I think he seems to be a bit bored about going through the details, as you would have to do. I mean, you as new people come along, new ears to the topic, as he hopes, and he hoped the book would do that. Of course, he'd be wanting to have people, like he said, he thinks, or he thought the book would be a legacy. His children would be living off it in the future. It would last for 100 years. So, but he seems to fail to be able to explain anything. He's now just got to the
the ultimate
any
flat Earth
measurement
reference
means
book
it's
is
flat.
gone.
Yeah.
Right? There's no chance that this book will now become the ultimate flat Earth reference book. I would give that up. Because Nathan doesn't have the ability to put those arguments together for all of the non-flat Earth facts, right? He's got... I mean, he can't mute button people out of the way, to write a book, can he?
No.
And he's trying to write something that's going to be interesting, and let's face it, nobody's interested. Nobody's interested about anybody else. Nowadays.
No, he's kind of shot himself in the foot in the way, really, because he's got nobody else now. He's got nobody around him. Brian said you just got fanboy yes men. Making up flat poems and crap songs, and say yes, Nathan, wonderful Nathan, lovely Nathan, but nobody with any depth, any content to bring to the table. Because Nathan can't do that. He hasn't got anything himself. He's good at learning a script, repeating things, remembering stuff, but he didn't come up with it. He didn't find that. He doesn't research anymore for himself. It's not like he knows this stuff within himself. He's just been told it. Somebody sort of explained this thing, and he's just found a script and a way to talk about it without actually understanding it. And I guess if you push up against him, some of that kind of shutting you down is because he can't really explain it. And he hides behind that kind of idea that people like him swearing at people, and that's what people pay for. But as Brian often points out to him, you haven't got a clue. You don't know what you're talking about, Nate. And I think Brian seems to have kind of, well, he hasn't been around for a while, so, and he's pretty much has an ear for an understanding of QE and Adam's position in. He will know what they were putting into it, and then seems there was a running joke as whenever the book was on, it's not your book, Nathan. You're on Fortnite, Nathan. What are you doing? So it's like you say, I can't see this book's going to come out. If it does, it'll just be a laughing stock, really.
Well, if Nathan does want to, ap- an attempt to put some arguments together, then come and have a chat with us, Nathan. We're known for making arguments. We might be able to help you structure a few arguments, show you how to do that, how to avoid the fallacious arguments like
Well,
QE's done. But at least QE attempted it. Come on, gotta give him credit
yeah.
for that.
But can he use that? Is there a copyright?
I would
Will he
think
be able
that
to
the
use that in
use
the
of the
book?
black swan has gone. I can't see
Yeah.
how Nathan would be allowed to use the fallacious modus tollens from QE. But I mean, we don't know because QE's not saying a thing. QE might have already signed the rights of that fallacious argument over to Nathan. I mean, it might be chapter 2. Could be that.
He did give it to Brenda at one time, I think.
Poignant read, yeah, he did.
I seem to remember.
Yeah. You can have it, love, I think was the...
So you're right. Nathan hasn't got anything to replace it. He hasn't got an if then argument to back up anything that he's got. He's hiding from the numbers, which is kind of crazy. Playing this song that 10th Man has kind of supposedly 10th Man has given him, that has the numbers in that he cannot stand by.
Yeah, all of the other flat earthers have dropped them. They can't.
Yeah,
they can't
stand
actually
by
go
them
off
either.
Like when we have been on Flatzoids, we've been talking to Roger Ledwell. We've been talking to quite a few people about all of these numbers. We went over to EA, started talking to them about the sun circles and the consequences of all of these things, and it just gets shut down every time. Nobody wants to address any of the measurements or the numbers concerned with anything. So how they can put it in a book, I've not got a clue.
Yeah. Well, I was at EA the other day, and they were dreaming about, if we had a group of people who could do this research and had, £100 million to make some big experiments and things.